Hey, this is Cy for Music Radar. We're at Superbooth 2019 with This Is Not Rocket Science on their elaborately decorated booth here. Just kind of bring one of these down. But there we go. That was going to cause problems for a minute. We're not here to see these. We are here to see this, which is what you guys have got new to show us for this show. Tell us the story. Tell us what's going on here.
This is the Fenix 4. It continues the tradition that the old Synton engineers made with the Fenix 1, 2, and 3. After Synton went bankrupt, they couldn't stop making synthesizers. So out of the ashes of Synton designs rose the Fenix.
Yeah.
And then it rose again, and it rose again, and now it's our turn, and it rises again.
Yeah.
So. In the tradition of the Fenix, we have kept a lot of the design philosophy the same, but we upgraded a lot of it to 2019 standards, like simple things like having a USB connector on the back, but also some things that were not available when they made the original Fenix, like a proper digital delay system and some digital oscillator modes that we think add a lot to the sonic capabilities of the device. And we generally just polished it up and made it manufacturable.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about the architecture and what we've got going on here then.
We have top left in yellow. We have the entire oscillator section and input section. You can plug external inputs in and make gates and triggers with that. There's the classic Fenix oscillator, which is entirely analog, taken from the Fenix 2. There's the Chord Oscillator, which is a triple analog oscillator with digital pitch control, so you can play chords. Which we think is not something that's done very often on modular. So we wanted to support that. Then for all the non-standard waveforms that are not saw, pulse, and triangle, we have the digital oscillator, which has FM and some really weird phase shifting oscillator and wavetable and rest.
Cool. So that's bringing the kind of digital complex textures and sort of updating the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes. Then we have the noise system and the whole red modulation section. It's mostly LFOs and our wobbler LFO that you've covered earlier. And then the noise system has the classic white, pink, blue noise colors, and I think also purple and red even. And it has a digital probabilistics engine where you can select different noise distribution from Gaussian distribution, band distribution, in time and space, so you can make all kinds of weird rackets with that. Then we have the filter section. We kept two filters from the original, the low pass gate and the ladder filter. The multiband filter is under redesign. It's going to be more of a focal filter. And the state variable filter is an inverted state variable filter where you have low pass and high pass inputs instead of outputs, so you can crossfade between signals in an interesting way. Then going down, we are going to the light blue section, is all the effects. We have a wave multiplier, which is an interesting sort of sub-oscillator system where you can almost draw your own wave cycles or crossfade between other things. Then there's a wave shaper, which is a combined wave folder and saturator. There's the digital delay system I mentioned earlier, which now also gets 1 volt per octave tracking for waveguide things. It also has a real reverb and a chorus system. And there's an analog phaser on top of that, also taken from the original design. And going back left, we have the envelopes, taken from the original Fenix 2, very snappy analog envelopes. We doubled the ADSR because there was no room on the original for a second ADSR, so it was only AD. So now we have two full ADSRs. And the classic AHDSR/D, which was such a mouthful that we had to keep it. It's a normal ADSR with an extra punch after the attack, so you get a bit of hold time. And then at the same time, a second decay-only envelope is triggered with adjustable slopes. It's very nice to make percussive sounds, because you've already always had this second envelope running in parallel. Then between everything, there's all the gray modules. There's a full sequencer on bottom left, 8-step sequencer with some twists in it. You can cross-patch the gate out to make several different things happen at different times. There's also a quantizer underneath, so you can snap things to whole notes. There's a whole block of mixers. There's a CV mixers, there's 5 VCAs, there's a 2-channel output mixer with stereo panning and 2 more VCAs. There's a built-in microphone so you can hit the case to make sounds. There's a CV gate interface with an oscilloscope in the middle, which also has 3 clock outputs, so you can do polyrhythmic clocks. And tons of other little goodies. So
it's a kind of seriously well-equipped instrument. So and you're kind of basically staying true to that classic synth design, and then kind of adding some modern touches and some cool little bits of modulation and digital things.
Yeah.
You've got some props down here. Show us what we've got.
Yeah, we've
take a little look inside.
The prototype, the circuit board for the prototype down here. This took me about two weeks to solder 4,500 components.
Yeah, it looks hard work.
Yeah, so of course with all the hard work we have to sign this with our names and images and everything, and just the inside has to be just as pretty as the outside.
Yeah.
So this is the part that I will be staring at mostly.
Yeah. Cool. So let's patch in and take a little listen to how it sounds.
Yeah, cool.
So that's how it's sounding. So what can you tell us about when it's going to be available and price and things like that?
We're aiming for 5,000 euros.
Yeah.
And it's we also aiming for about half a year from now.
Cool.
But there's always manufacturing things. Sometimes it goes faster, sometimes it goes slower.
Yeah, well, as we've seen inside, it's a kind of complex little thing. There's a lot that going wrong and slow down. But yeah, keep an eye on you guys. So this is Not Rocket Science, Superbooth 2019. Thanks, and stick with Music Radar for all the latest Superbooth news and new gear, and be sure to like and subscribe wherever you see this video. Thanks.